soldiers are easily some of the bravest people on the planet. They're sent to places that many of us will never visit, and see man-made horrors play out in front of their eyes. Although soldiers have hundreds of stories to tell, some of the most interesting ones are those that detail mysterious creatures. One interesting account is that of military soldiers that encountered a mysterious being. The story goes that back in 2002, a military unit encountered a giant being in Kandahar. American soldiers were trekking up a mountainside when they saw signs of a large being. These included things like large footprints. As the soldiers went to investigate the area, they said they could hear loud grunting noises. Shortly after this, the team said they were ambushed by a large humanoid. They reported it was around 13 feet tall and had red hair. It had 6 fingers on each hand and was hostile towards the military unit. One of the men unfortunately didn't make it as he was pierced by the giant's large spear. The giant was said to be dressed in animal skins. The reason the team was in the area was because another military unit had gone missing, and so a rescue mission was planned to see what happened and hopefully bring back any survivors. After the soldier got pierced with the spear, it then turned its attention to the rest of the group. The others quickly fired at the giant, hitting it all over its body. They continued to do this until the giant dropped to its knees. After this, the unit reported it to their superiors. They gave them clear instructions to hide the body and stay near it, ensuring that no one nearby saw what they were trying to hide. After this, the body was taken to a secure location, and high-up officials told the soldiers that they were never to speak of this again. Another strange encounter is that of the Jinn. According to the ancient scriptures seen throughout the Middle East, the Jinn are often referred to as the people of the fire, and seem to be as old as the universe itself. Scholars have noted that the word Jinn most likely comes from the Arabic root word Jan, to which roughly translates to mean to hide or to conceal, which gives us a clue as to the nature of the Jinn, of which were often regarded as creatures of whom would attempt to conceal themselves from man. The Quran then clarifies that the existence of the Jinn first came about during the act of the creation of the universe, and that the Jinn came into existence after being created from a smokeless fire, similar to that of electricity and much purer energy. These stories in fact match that of the Judaism interpretation of the creation of Lucifer, of whom was also crafted from fire, and not that of light similar to other angels. The Jinn were then described as being more accurately referred to as the people of the fire, and that they would exist in a plane that rested slightly above us but still within our world, slightly out of the reach of any natural senses. Additional information as to the origin and spreading of the Jinn gets a little hazy, but references are made of the Jinn assisting ruthless kings and rulers, and even helping with the building and construction of many cities and places of immense power. Given the fact that the Jinn are often described as being unable to be seen or sensed by our natural senses, and constantly attempting to evade detection of all kind, it's no surprise then that the main focus of the power of the Jinn circles around its ability to take any form. It's believed that the Jinn have the ability to take the form of any animal or person, and that they often use these tactics to get away from someone pursuing them, or to trick loved ones of an individual into doing something for them. The only way for someone to be certain of whether or not the creature is a Jinn is to look into its eyes. According to legends, the Jinn's eyes are constantly blazing like a fire, and that they can be seen in the eyes of any form that they take. Jinns also possess supernatural abilities, such as that of possessing an individual to take control of their body, being able to predict the future and being able to perform superhuman feats that are otherwise unexplainable in the physical world, such as speed, flying, vast intelligence, fluency in any language, and a vast amount of unending skills. Definitely seen as one of the strangest reports of modern day encounters with the Jinn was a military encounter seen in Iraq back in June of 2003. An Iraqi soldier and other fighters were stationed at the second floor of a police station to assist with further attacks against the police. This was between the locals and the law enforcement of the city. A lot of people were confused by the sudden attacks by the police, and so one of the main purposes of the Iraqi army assisting with safety was to uncover the reasons as to why such disturbances were taking place. In one of the reports taken by an Iraqi military squad stationed for 24/7 surveillance, they claimed they encountered several Jinn, of whom were watching and patrolling the station. The report details that they believed the individuals to be Jinn due to the fact they had glowing red eyes, and seemed completely unfazed by the bright surveillance lights used to blind passbyers, of whom attempted to get close to the station at night. Shortly after the report was filed, the whole entire station was attacked and every soldier and police in the department passed away from injuries. It then circulated that the Jinn were at the centre of the attacks, and the majority of the disturbances were caused by the Jinn waging plans of attack. After the report surfaced, the attack stopped, with many locals claiming that the Jinn went back into hiding after they were discovered. The Military and Bigfoot. The military and Bigfoot seem to have a strange relationship. One of the last places you'd expect to see a Bigfoot would be near a military base, yet various stories have been told of these ancient creatures getting into these secret locations. And not only that, but shortly after seeing this creature there appears to be various reports of UFO sightings throughout the area. Oddly enough, according to MUFON or the Mutual UFO Network, it appeared that the third most common sighting of an alien being was that of a Bigfoot. Many people with whom encountered strange UFO sightings wrote witness reports of saucers landing and a Bigfoot coming out, or encountering a Bigfoot in the forest only for it to disappear like a ghost, and moments later to see a nearby unidentified flying object begin to immediately take off into the sky. These cases also do not include single encounters with the Sasquatch, and only include reports regarding a definitive extraterrestrial account. It's for this reason that Bigfoot might be an extraterrestrial creature, instead of a naturally evolved one. American soldiers have gone on to detail seeing these creatures around bases and while on missions. One of the most famous creatures that resembled a Bigfoot was given the name of rock ape. Referred to by American soldiers as rock apes, consistent reports were made by a wide number of platoons of giant humanoid creatures. One veteran wrote the following report. Serving with the 101st Airborne in the mountains of Vietnam, I saw the rock apes on many occasions. They were as large as a big man and usually were in small groups of 2 or 3 unlike Bigfoot, but were bigger than most men and smaller than Bigfoot. They were spotted on days, but would also set off our trip flares at night." End quote. When looking into eyewitness reports surrounding the Jersey Devil, a mystery far more sinister than previously imagined becomes apparent. According to cryptid researchers, the descriptions of the Jersey Devil sightings appear to change, with certain witness sightings appearing to either directly contradict the details of past sightings, or to feature previously unnoticed physical descriptions. Originally, it was believed that perhaps the conflicting reports are evidence that sightings of the Jersey Devil are entirely fictitious, yet collections of these eyewitness reports show impossible to explain consistencies that cryptid researchers were previously unaware of. Originally, descriptions of the Jersey Devil described the creature to have been a flying bipedal animal, with large wings that were similar in design to that of bat wings. The head of the Jersey Devil was described as being similar though possibly smaller than the head of a horse, with its legs being extremely skinny, ending in horse-like hoofed feet. Oddly enough, later descriptions of the creature would claim that the Jersey Devil would appear to have the body of a kangaroo, the head of a goat and not a horse, cloven hooves, horns at the top of its head, a forked tail, and small arms that would end in sharp claws. Cryptid and UFO researcher George Dudding believed that the primary cause for the many different witness descriptions surrounding the creature appear to center around the legend's popularity within Pine Barrens. given the fact that it became common knowledge to residents throughout the area that a beast of supernatural origin resided within the Pine Barrens, a collection of nearby forests within the region. Any strange encounter experienced within the region would immediately be labelled as an encounter with the Jersey Devil. Sightings of strange cats, unusual birds, Sasquatch-like creatures, dogmen and other impossible to explain encounters were all lumped together with the Jersey Devil, given their proximity to Pine Barrens. If this proves to be the case, then it's far more likely, according to George Dunning, that the Jersey Devil name was not just used to reference a specific creature, but was used to reference any supernatural phenomena that would occur in the Pine Barrens, and instead referencing a collection of different creatures often sighted in the region. One such example of a hellhound sighting took place in Connecticut, roughly 100 miles away from the Pine Barrens. Referred to as the Myriadine Hellhounds, sightings of massive shadowy black dogs with glowing red eyes were first made near the town of Meredine, located on the Chippewa River. Eyewitnesses claimed that the dogs were nearly entirely transparent and appeared to be nothing more than a shadow with glowing red eyes. Although the legends seem harmless at first, when 2 young children went missing roughly 60 years ago, the legends took a far darker turn. The most recent sighting of the Myriadine Hellhounds took place back in 2001, when a young woman was on her way home travelling down Highway 37. According to the eyewitnesses, she saw a strange shape at the end of the road and slowed down to get a better view of whatever it could have been. Once slowed down, she originally believed that she had sighted an extremely large dog, similar in size to a bear. As she got a better look, however, she realised that the creature was unlike any animal native to the region, having been heavily muscled and with the head shape of a wolf. As the creature then turned to look at the woman, she could see that the monster appeared to have glowing red eyes. Staring at the eyes, the woman claimed that it appeared that the red eyes were emanating from the creature's mouth. Now in a heightened frenzy, the Meredine woman drove off as quickly as she could, fearful of the hellhound legends. Additional sightings of dogmen, Sasquatch-like creatures with the face of a wolf, are often reported in the surrounding areas. One such sighting, featured in Broome County, was located less than 50 miles away from the Pine Barrens. According to the report, a woman had been driving back home with her 2 children, the youngest one 2 years of age and the oldest having been 11. As they pulled into the driveway sometime after dusk, in a secluded and rural location of Broome County, the mother claimed to have been overwhelmed with a sudden fear. The woman reported that as soon as she stepped out the car, she had a sixth sense that something was watching her and her children. As she looked around for signs of a predator, she realised that there was no noise of any crickets nearby, an extremely uncommon event for the area. This led her to quickly grab the children and start rushing them into the house. As they approached the front door, she claimed to have heard what she described as a loud low growl. She would later clarify that the sound was deep-toned and hateful in character, similar to that of a large angry dog, but much deeper. Before anything else could happen, the woman got herself and her 2 kids inside and quickly locked the door. It wasn't long before she called the husband to come home quickly, because she believed that a large animal was outside. When the husband got home, it was discovered by this point in time that the family cat had gone missing, and so the husband went looking around nearby to see if perhaps there were any bears or large wild dogs. After a moment of searching, the husband also began to notice a strange silence, only to notice a large humanoid animal running through the nearby forest. This led him to pulling out his firearm in fear that it could have been a large beast, but realised that there was no such creature that could run at such speeds on its hind legs. This led the couple to reporting the encounter to cryptid researchers, who characterised the claim as being that of a dogman, a commonly sighted creature across North America and New York. The couple's cat was never found. The Pine Barrens themselves are a supernatural hotspot that appears to feature a plethora of cryptid sightings of various kinds. Similar supernatural hotspots have been reported in many different places across the world, such as Cannock Chase, Devon County, Bonnybridge and the Hiabashi Forest. So what do you make of these strange encounters? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.